everyone, and welcome to another episode of English 360. Alex, tell me something. Do you remember your first trip abroad? That feeling of landing in a country where you didn't speak the language fluently? That mix of excitement about being in a new place and, at the same time, a subtle panic that starts to creep in when it's time to communicate?
Oh, for sure. It's a roller coaster of emotions. You're excited to see a new place, but at the same time, the idea of having to go through immigration, check in at the hotel, or order food in a restaurant gives you a knot in your stomach. It's like being a superhero without superpowers. You feel vulnerable without your main means of communication. And we know that this language barrier can turn what should be an amazing experience into a source of anxiety.
And that's exactly the feeling we want to solve today. We know that many of you dream of traveling, but the fear of not knowing how to communicate ends up becoming an obstacle. The good news is that you don't need to be fluent to have an incredible travel experience. You need confidence and the right phrases for the right situations. Our goal today isn't just to give you a travel dictionary, but the tools so that your next adventure is smooth, easy, and, above all, memorable.
We understand that true fluency for travel isn't about knowing all the grammar rules, but rather about making yourself understood and connecting. Travel fluency is about being practical, about knowing how to say what you need, when you need it, and with the confidence required so that small mistakes don't ruin your experience. Think of it as a conversational map for your destination, where each phrase is a shortcut to peace of mind.
So, get ready to take off with us. We'll guide you through the airport, help you check in at the hotel, and show you how to order your favorite food without fear. Your next trip can be an adventure, not an endurance test. But before we truly embark, don't forget to like, share with that friend who is planning a trip, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our tips. We're going to turn your next trip into an unforgettable experience.
At the airport, the first big mission starts at the airport. We know that it's one of the most stressful places to communicate in English. It's the first point of contact, and often the most formal. The good news is that from the check-in counter to immigration, the phrases are direct, practical, and predictable. The secret is to have a few of them at the tip of your tongue and stay calm.
Exactly. At check-in, the essential phrases are few and direct, and the agent will guide you. When you approach the counter, the person will probably start with, "Passport, please?" Simple and direct. Then they might ask, "Do you have any bags to check in?" Or, "Would you like a window or an aisle seat?" There's no need to panic. You just need to answer what you need. Yes, one bag, or an aisle seat, please. It's about going with the flow.
And the most tense moment, immigration. I remember one time I was at passport control and the officer asked me in that serious voice, "What's the purpose of your visit?" I, nervous, started stuttering and replied, "I'm a tourist. I like to see things." He looked at me with a face like, "Okay," and it was a moment of pure embarrassment. The correct answer is simple. I'm here for tourism, or I'm here on vacation.
And they might also ask, "How long will you be staying?" Or, "How long is your stay?" The answer is direct, for 10 days or for 1 week. Other common questions include, "Where are you staying?" You can say the hotel name. Or, "Who are you traveling with?" if you're with someone. Remember, the officer just wants to make sure everything is okay, so honesty and conciseness are your best friends.
But what happens if you don't understand the question? Don't despair. The secret is humility. You can simply say, "I'm sorry, I don't understand," or "Could you repeat that more slowly?" These phrases show that you are trying to communicate, and most people are willing to help. Trying is the first step to success. We don't have to be perfect, we have to be understood.
And lastly, don't forget the courtesy phrases. A thank you and a smile at the end of each interaction make all the difference. They show respect and can soften any tension. Remember that at the airport, you're at the beginning of an adventure. We just need a few key phrases to get through this stage with confidence and without stress. And the rest of the trip will be much more pleasant. We've arrived at the hotel. The first thing we want to do is drop our bags and relax, but we still need to check in. The good news is that most hotel receptionists are used to tourists and all levels of English. The key phrase to start is simple and polite. Hi, I have a reservation under the name, your name.
And if you don't have the reservation name on the tip of your tongue, or if the reservation was made by someone else, you can simply say, "Hi, I'm checking in." They'll probably ask for your passport and credit card. If you want to confirm your reservation, you can ask, "Is the breakfast included?" Or, "What time is the checkout?" Simple phrases that prevent surprises later.
But what do you do when something goes wrong? I remember one time I got to my room and the key just didn't work. I went back to the front desk and in broken English said something like, "My key, no work, room, broken?" The receptionist, confused, asked me again what I needed. The correct phrase is much simpler and more effective. "I'm sorry, my key card isn't working," or "I'm having a problem with my room key." This shows the problem clearly and directly.
Another common situation is when the room isn't exactly what you expected. Maybe the air conditioner isn't working or the view isn't what you wanted. You can approach the front desk with a polite phrase like, "I'm sorry to bother you, but the air conditioner in my room isn't working." Or, "Is it possible to change to a room with a better view?" Being polite and direct increases your chances of solving the problem without stress.
Besides problems, we might need help with other things. Asking for services at the hotel is very common. If you need an extra towel, an extra pillow, or to know the Wi-Fi password, phrases like, "Could I get an extra towel, please?" or "What is the Wi-Fi password?" are perfect. The please and thank you are mandatory and make all the difference in how you're treated.
Remember, the hotel staff is there to help you have a good experience. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. The important thing is to communicate clearly, even with few words. Confidence is key. With these phrases in your luggage, your check-in and your stay at the hotel will be as smooth as you expected.
Now the best part of any trip, the food. But the menu in English can be a real maze, full of dish names we've never heard of. Don't be afraid. We can start with a simple phrase for the waiter when they approach the table. "I'd like to order, please," or "We're ready to order." It's as simple as that.
And if you don't understand the menu, a golden tip is to point to the dish and say, "I'll have this, please." If you want to be more specific, you can ask about what's in the dish. Phrases like, "What is this dish?" or "What's in this dish?" are super useful. I remember one time Alex and I were at a restaurant and didn't know what shepherd's pie was. He, embarrassed to ask, ended up ordering it and was expecting a sweet cake.
It was a moment of pure surprise. When the dish arrived, it was a meat pie with mashed potatoes. I, who am a big fan of sweets, was confused, but in the end, we found it hilarious. The important thing is that we could have avoided the surprise with a simple question. The waiter is there to help, and most are happy to explain the menu.
Another real and very important concern for many people is allergies. You have to be clear for your safety. You can ask, "Does this dish contain nuts, gluten, dairy?" Or if you have a serious allergy, say right away, "I have a peanut allergy. Can you recommend something?" Being direct and polite is the key to avoiding problems.
And at the end of the meal, to ask for the bill, the phrase is simple and direct. There's no secret. You can say, "Could we get the check, please?" Or, "Can I have the bill, please?" If you're paying with a card, you can ask, Do you take credit cards? These phrases are used everywhere, and knowing them gives you enormous confidence.
At the restaurant, the most important thing is not to be afraid to ask questions. Communication is a two-way street. With these phrases in your luggage, you can venture through local menus and cuisine without the language barrier, and your experience will be much more delicious and peaceful.
We've given you the key phrases to survive in the most common situations, but real street English is different from what you learn in books. People use slang, contractions, and accents that can be confusing. You might hear, "what you doing?" instead of "what are you doing?" The secret is not to despair. The context helps a lot, and your attitude is what really matters.
Exactly. The best tip is don't worry about perfection. Fluency for travel isn't about knowing perfect grammar or an impeccable accent. It's about being understood and understanding. A simple, "I'm sorry, could you say that again?" or "could you speak more slowly?" solves most problems. Most people are willing to help when you show that you are trying.
And the most important tip? Try. Talk to the barista, the taxi driver, the hotel clerk. Don't hide. Every conversation, even a short one with mistakes, is an opportunity to learn and connect. It's an exercise in confidence.
Remember, your fluency isn't measured by the number of words you know, but by your ability to connect with people. With a little courage and the right phrases, the world becomes much more accessible.
We've covered the airport, the hotel, and the restaurant, and we've given you the phrases to navigate each of these situations with confidence. Remember, your next trip isn't just about visiting a place. It's about connecting with it, with the people, and with the culture in a way you can only do with the language.
Exactly. We've shown you that you already have what you need. Language is the bridge, and confidence is the engine that takes you to the other side. The world is waiting for you, and you're already more prepared than you think.
So, our challenge to you is this. On your next vacation, use one of the phrases we taught you today. Feel the confidence of knowing what to say, and then tell us your story in the comments.
And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Because here on English 360 Podcast, we don't just teach you English, we help you connect with the world.